right, this is Trenton with Noah from Bad Omens once again. This is sort of a redo from Warped Tour because that one just had, you weren't in that one, but we had a lot of tech issues, so we were like, hey, you guys are back on self-help this year. Well, you are doing self-help this year, so let's just do it again. So, look, I think the Charlotte date was when you guys just hopped on the date. It was sort of like near the beginning of your run on it. So I guess now we can ask, how did that go, and what's it been like this ride and stuff ever since your album came out for you guys?
Well, as you know, you interviewed us on one of our first tours ever. It's been pretty crazy. It's been moving very fast. When we first started Warped Tour, it was that Charlotte date, and it was our first day there, and there was like a huge storm, like crazy winds. It was like blowing a tents over everywhere, and it's just been a crazy year. Like every time I think that we're done touring or like taking a break, another opportunity comes up. And now after self-help, we're going to Europe on Monday, I think. Okay. So we're just touring nonstop and doing our best to get our name and our record out there.
Yeah, some bands, it takes them a couple of years for them to gain some steam and be well known of it. And you guys just had a massive crowd today and everything. You guys have been tearing it up. People are loving you guys. So what is it about this album or your band do you think that is drawing people to you guys so quickly and as fast as you guys have grown?
It's hard to say. I mean, I think just everything that we do is organic and it's very authentic, and when it comes to the songwriting, I mean, every song kind of has its own feel and message and vibe to it that someone out there really identifies with, and it's crazy because when we put the record out, we thought there was going to be like a couple favorites, or like usual there would be like the singles that everyone liked, no one else would know the rest. But on like our Spotify, Apple Music, all those like stats on YouTube, like there's such a diverse amount of favorites amongst our fans, so I think it's just the fact that our songwriting kind of gravitates towards so many different types of people and musical interests that really helps us acquire a strong fan base, because there's always something out there for someone that likes a song or two of ours.
Yeah. Now, I'm sure you guys have already started working on some new stuff. I was getting to that time again. So is there, with I guess the unexpected, strong debut you guys had with this album, is there any pressure going into like a new record, the sophomore slump, or you guys scared of that any, or are you guys just like trucking along as usual?
Before we started, I was a little nervous just because of how much work and effort and passion we put into the first record, and I was like, man, how are we going to top this? And we had a few months off before we started this little run to self-help after we finished Warped Tour. And Jolly and I, we just got right back into writing, and it's already, in my opinion, better than our first album. And we just got into it, and it's just coming together super well, we're also producing this record ourselves, so we're going to have plenty of time on our hands to really fine-tune and craft the songs the way we want to. We won't be rushed or anything. We're not going to a studio. So album 2, there's definitely a lot of pressure, but I think that we're more than capable of making it even better than album 1. Okay.
Now, we're at Self-Help today, Under Oath, A Day to Remember, some other dates have Pierce the Veil and bands like that on it. So what does it mean for you guys to be asked to get onto this festival, and how did that all come about for you guys to be on a festival like these with all these, very influential bands and stuff?
It's very crazy, it was a really proud day when we got to announce that we were playing these festivals, just because, Under Oath is a legendary band, A Day to Remember is a legendary band, and it's cool, especially how fast, we managed to move forward and make this progress and be able to get these opportunities. It wasn't what we were expecting at all. We've definitely grinded touring, opening, playing various slots and taking various amounts or whatever, but just getting this opportunity has done tons of stuff for, both the band, like in a literal sense, and just for our, morale as a band. Yeah. It just gives us confidence that we're doing what we need to be doing, and we're going the right direction, and we're doing it the right way.
Yeah. And I believe you're also sort of like the brains behind it, sort of like a business kind of guy with it and stuff. So how do you incorporate the business aspect into the band and making sure the ship stays afloat and everything? What are some things that, a lot of people don't see behind the scenes type of stuff. So what do you do, as the business mind or a business mind to keep this thing going and stuff that fans may not know about?
Well, there's a lot of logistics when it comes to, preparing for tours, especially when, right now half the band is on the East Coast and me and Jolly are on the West Coast. So we have to plan accordingly when it comes to flights and like what we can bring, what we can't bring, what's going to sound good with the limited amount of, checked baggage we can bring and sized baggage we can check on flights, and, booking trips to Europe and stuff, like getting drivers, like all that stuff. it's crazy how much other stuff goes into being in a band that a lot of people, I think, expect other people to just do for you entirely, which luckily we do have a great management team that helps us out, you know, but it's totally like just a whirlwind of this pressure when it comes to like, oh, everything has to be right, like, because one thing gets wrong, like one date gets messed up, like everything just gets thrown off. And you know, when it comes to especially traveling, as we're doing a lot now, between flying here for this fest, going to Europe Monday, there's so many things that just have to happen a certain way on a certain time, otherwise everything gets screwed up. So it's, like you said, it's behind the scenes stuff that not a lot of people know about, that they think just, you know, some of these bands, they just get on a plane and go and play, but there's so much.
Come to Brazil, come to my city. You were here yesterday. Why don't you play my city?
Yeah, it's never that easy. Otherwise, you know, if it was up to us, we would fly to Brazil every week, you know, but that's just how it goes.
Yeah. Now, you know, you guys aren't like, you know, a super massive, you know, like a Day to Remember or anything like that yet, but you guys do have that following. You guys are doing, I guess, a few headline dates between these festivals and stuff. So, like, when can fans expect at least sort of like some form of a headline tour for you guys and stuff going in? Yeah, official headlining tour.
Yeah, we've been talking and thinking about that a lot, you know, especially because our album's been out a little over a year now and we haven't done one. We've just been, you know, like I said, we keep getting these other great opportunities we want to take. I was thinking hopefully maybe mid to late next year we'll finally get to do one, because we also really want to get into starting our second album as soon as we're done with Europe. And obviously the holidays are coming up, so I'll have time to really, hopefully, not have to worry about us getting booked on anything, so that we have time to write and just hang out at home and work on the second album. And so yeah, one other thing is the reason we haven't done like a real official headliner for our first record yet is because we really just want to make it good. You know, we want everything to be solid, like between the production, you know, like the show itself, you know, the venues, just we want to make sure that everything runs smooth and all the promoters are happy, the fans are happy, and that we put on like an amazing show. And just same reason we haven't put out a second album yet is like we have other stuff going on, and it's hard to plan all that stuff and make it happen while we're also doing 5 other things. But it's definitely something that we want to do as soon as we have the means to.
Yeah. All right. Now we talked about, I don't know if it was in the interview at Warped Tour that didn't come out, or if it was one of the podcasts or the first one we did, but you guys talked about the song on the album that's been around for like 6 years or something. You guys aren't going to play it until you get that right and everything. What's going on with that? When you guys still building that up? 'Cause you guys are hyping that up. You know, last time we talked, you know, you guys were talking about, you know, this song needs all this stuff to happen in a live environment and stuff. So
it's the same scenario as our headliner. You know, once we do a real headliner, we'll very most likely play those songs, because we're going to be able to bring the things we want to bring and set it up, you know, because we can't play those, you know, when we have a 10-minute changeover on a tour. We want to bring out like a keyboard, a piano, and like these lights and stuff, and just really make it set the tone for a live environment, versus just like we could play it, but we would just have to throw everything on like a track for the ballads, and like it would not be a cool experience, you know, for the fans or for us. And we want to make those songs that really have that huge ballad atmospheric experience. You know, we want it to be, you know, synonymous with the live show. Yeah. So it's something that's going to take preparation before we can really bust out the crazy slow ballads and stuff, you know.
All right, so you talked about going to Europe and stuff. Next year, maybe, you know, we're starting to come out with a new record and everything. So what are some, after Europe or whatever, some concrete stuff that you can talk about that you guys can promote and everything? Like maybe like a new single, or, you know, just something that you guys can talk about maybe going into the holidays or early 2018, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we have nothing really officially planned that I can give you, but like I said, as soon as we're done with Europe, whenever me and Jolly are home, all we do is write, you know, and right now we have a few songs pretty much finished for the next record, and as soon as we get back, we're just going to write more and fine-tune the ones we have finished and just do our best to get that going as fast as we can, because even once they're all done, there's a whole other, you know, process and series of hoops you have to jump through to prepare for a record release and an album cycle. So it is a lot of pressure time-wise, but luckily, you know, everyone, our manager, our label, they've all been patient and understanding with us, and they know that we really want to make it if not better than our first record. So they understand like why it's taking the time it is, and you know, all that stuff.
Is there any elements that you can talk about? I guess the form it's taking, or is it along the lines of the first one? Is it a little bit heavier? Is it a little bit more active rockish? You know, what can people, I guess, expect from a tone wise, like a sound wise?
It kind of takes all of our own personal favorite parts of the first record, and just disregards parts of the first record that we kind of regret or don't think were as strong.
Ooh, what are those? That's something juicy right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, our favorite parts that you can definitely hear in some of the new stuff whenever it comes out is an aggressive speed, if that makes sense. Like, it just has this really high energy, like in your face, just more songs along the lines of like Exit Wounds and Glass Houses with, that's the kind of our thing, is big choruses and just aggressive in your face verses. But we're also, like you said, we're trying to make it a little more active rock, but without losing that heaviness, so people don't, call us sellouts, because that's by no means, no way, like what's happening. We want to make it as good as it can be, so we're trying to make it heavier while making it not as heavy, in a sense, if that makes sense. And there's also a few songs on there that, as weird as it's going to sound, it has some like punk kind of influences to it. It's got that upbeat aggression, but it's we even have a song in a major scale, which is pretty interesting, for us. And it's got a, as far as the message goes, we're trying to convey a more empowering, positive kind of thing than the first record. Like, the first record had some of that, which is what a lot of people liked. It's made them feel good. Gym music just makes you feel good about yourself. There's also like a lot of melancholy and pessimism and just, sad guy stuff, which, we're not really about anymore. We want to, me personally, especially in the lyrical content I deliver, I want to really just focus on making people feel like they're on top of the world when they hear a song, whether they're like, they feel like they could take anyone in a fight, or they just feel like, they just feel good about the day. Whatever the mood is, I want it to be good and not just woe is me, sappy, sad stuff.
Awesome. Well, Noah, good seeing you guys today. You guys killed it on stage today. If this comes out before all the other self-helps, go watch those guys. If you're in Europe, go watch them, be on the lookout for you guys. Thanks again for talking to us. Noah from Bad Omens. I'm Trent with SoundLink Magazine. Thanks for watching.